Hi, I'm Sharon Parker from Durham, North Carolina. I've been a felt maker for 40 years and never gotten tired of it. It's an amazing technique. They believe it's the oldest way to make cloth, dating to the Stone Age, and it's been used for everything for hundreds of years: shelter, covering for yurts, clothing, saddle blankets, uh, all kinds of things to keep people alive. But I do one of a kind wall pieces, such as the one you see behind me. This is my latest piece called Dawn Venice, and it should have maybe had a longer title because it's based on the view from Lido Beach in the Venice Lagoon. Uh, if you haven't encountered felt making, I can tell you a little bit about how it's done. Basically, you're relying on the natural quality wool has of shrinking and locking in hot water. So let me show you my particular approach to the technique. The first thing I do is prepare wool, and I get it usually in bags, dyed a few basic colors. And to prepare the wool to do the background, I'll take the solid colors and put them through the drum carder. Basically, it's just a big wheel with teeth. And when I have enough wool to evenly cover the teeth, I can remove it. And this gives me what's known as a bat. Basically, the fibers are all vertical at this point. And if I want to, I can do more than just prepare a solid color. I can blend colors. So if I wanted to mix these two colors together, I'd layer up what I thought would fit around the drum evenly and start feeding them in together. At this point, the colors are very streaky, so I continue to put it through the drum carder. Each time it gets a little more evenly blended. Maybe one more time. Now, I don't know if you can quite tell, but it's quite a bit different from the wools that I started with. And you can keep doing that until you have a whole range shaded from a dark to a light, or one color to another color. So this tool is very helpful in that regard, though not absolutely necessary. So what do I do next? Often when I'm starting a piece, I'll begin with a neutral color. So in this case, I'm going to use this light gray. I've torn the bat in half, and I'm going to start building layers perpendicular to each other. So I've got a horizontal layer. I'll do a vertical layer. Another horizontal layer. And then I can start working with the colors that I prepared. You can move them around in any fashion you want until you are happy with the colors you've got down. And if you want to add texture, you can do things like curls from the sheep. And if you want to do lines, you can use wool yarns. Even non-wool yarns will work. Mohair is particularly good, but things like silk and many other yarns, you would need to put a really thin layer of wool to lock them into place. Once you have your composition the way you want it, you can put another piece of cloth on top. And I use big safety bins to basically baste all the layers of wool inside the 2 layers of cloth. I'm only going to put a few pins in right now, but when I'm working, I would cover the whole surface with pins going all the way through to from the front to the back to lock everything in place. The next step would be to put this bundle into hot soapy water and start pressing it with my hands. I can add some soap, that helps the process as well, and I'll keep pressing on it on both surfaces, and then once it starts to get stronger and firmer, I can start rolling it and unrolling it, the whole bundle, both directions, both sides, and the more you work it in the hot water, the more those fibers shrink and lock. Finally, when I determine it's strong enough, I can remove the fabric and rinse out the soap and let the piece dry. The final step would be working the piece of felt more by sewing more yarns onto the surface, taking a barbed needle and do needle felting, which is poking the needle through the fibers that I want to add to the surface until they catch into the background. I might add more fleece curls that way. Stitching more yarns onto the surface, even sewing pieces together. And lastly, to determine how I want to present the piece, I might stretch it like you'd stretch a canvas. The 2 pieces behind me are done that way. The larger one is called Danube Sunset. It's based on photographs I took of the river as the sun was setting and the bank was very dark, so all I saw was the colors on the water. And the smaller one is called Driftwood Beach, and it's based on a beach in Jekyll Island, Georgia. Hope that gives you a little information about felt making. Thanks so much.